please make sure you check out our friends at PlayAsia, the #1 site for Japanese games and merchandise. Capcom's Ace Attorney is a Japanese series full of larger-than-life characters, and like many Japanese games brought to the West, the games have seen various changes during the localization process. This video, though, will be just focusing on the changes seen as censorship, i.e. the removal of offensive, objectionable content. For example, it may be unsurprising to some that the localization of homosexual restaurant owner Jean Armstrong hasn't always been completely faithful to the original. However, what may be surprising is exactly what got altered. You see, the extremely campy Jean did not have their sexuality toned down. Instead, there was a rather peculiar change made to the French version to something else. Whilst in the rest of the world, they like to take the role of sort of a French maiden, the French translators apparently didn't like this very much. Not only did they change the nationality of this persona of his to Italian, but they also changed his name to Luigi Labocca. Even the restaurant was renamed, from the French Trés Bien to Bellissima, Italian for very beautiful. Another notable name change was made to Juan Corrida, one of the victims from the second game. Whilst the surname was chosen due to it being a Spanish term for bullfighting, it has another, less formal meaning. In the Spanish version, and only the Spanish version, their surname was changed, due to it also meaning, wait for it, ejaculation in Spanish slang. Ever notice some of the suspicious placements of food within the series? Well, the localizers sure did for one of these strangely phallic-like structures. If you pay close attention to the meals on the table, you'll see that the food standing erect in the center could possibly be seen as resembling something very, very different. Due to this, you can actually only find the naughty graphical innuendo in the 3DS Trilogy release, with it being removed, like so, in all other versions of Justice for All. Over in Japan though, the original art is left intact for every single version of the game. A warning, the next case of censorship may corrupt your opinion on this series forever. Don't say we didn't warn you. Revolving around the second game's lecherous director Hotti, in all releases of the game, you can show the perverted man a picture of 8-year-old Pearl. Here's what happens in the English release. Other than the cute nurse remark, all was fairly innocent, right? Now, in the Japanese version, things played out much differently. This chart not only shows a direct translation of the Japanese script, but also multiple English rewrites, before finally ending with the finished, localized version. Why would they want to alter it though? Well, let's take a look at the original line, shall we? You can see that when you first show them the picture, he responds with, "Oh, what's this? Very good. Yes." What exactly would he be complimenting though, when looking at the young girl and performing that grabby animation of his? He then repeatedly tells Phoenix to bring her to him if she hurts herself, to which Phoenix replies with, "As if I would ever bring her to you." The localizers tried to rewrite the dialogue, adding in comparisons to dolls and the term adorable, but ultimately decided to remove all traces of their perverted attitude towards Pearl. One of the team members has explained this decision over on their blog, which you'll be able to find a link for in the description. They talk about how Japanese culture is different than in the West, and that, whilst this scene would likely be found extremely disturbing outside of Japan, it was supposed to be humorous. They also mentioned that leaving it in could have meant running into issues with first-party requirements and the ESRB/PEGI rating boards. But to finish up with, in fact, not a case of censorship, but to dispel something that is often thought to have been censored when it actually hasn't, during the course of the series, you'll be able to find many references to grape juice. Yes, grape juice, and it's a common misconception that this was originally wine over in Japan. But no, it's grape juice, even in Japan. This being an inside joke among the developers, and grape juice actually being series creator Shu Takumi's favorite drink. So, whilst perhaps seeming doubtful, there is absolutely no 4Kids style censorship going on. As always, thanks for watching. Censored Gaming is the definitive resource for censorship. Make sure you have subscribed to stay up to date with the latest censorship in games. And if you'd like to hear more from me, you can find me right here on YouTube at youtube.com/TheBlackLink. We do almost daily videos and podcasts for a variety of things. But anyways, thanks so much for watching. And as always, I am TheBlackLink. You guys stay frosty.